we have only one output. If we had more than one, we would add that number, followed by names of our output variables. So that will be names of what we extracted from Energy Plus. So in this particular case, it's electricity facility. So we can call this string, and then, or we can shrink it, for example, just say electricity facility, for example. Then it is followed by one line which you shouldn't be worried about. That is just time equal no, which I think is something is involved about the dynamic behavior of assessing sensitivity and uncertainty within the sim lab. And then the last one is the number of our sample size. So in this particular case, it is 20. And then I'll just remove these empty spaces. And also very important, this file has to be tab delimited. So it's not a CSV file anymore. So it's just a plain text file. Tab delimited text file. So we have to choose our file format while going by going through save as. I'll save it again to the same location and then call it, let's say, LHS SimLab, and then try to find text tab delimited. This is important. So let's see this file in our text editor.
For distribution,
So this is our file, if I didn't make any mistake, which is now ready to be paired with our sample within the SimLab to conduct sensitivity analysis and uncertainty analysis. So by having this, we can go now to our SimLab. If you accidentally close your SimLab between these steps, you will be able to load your sample by selecting it here. So you would have to click load sample size and then find your SAM file which we created earlier. And in that case, we would be able to complete sensitivity analysis based on the outputs generated with G+. So now we are going to do this Monte Carlo analysis based on the output results by clicking Configure Monte Carlo, and then we have to choose our outputs. By clicking on the Select Model, new window is going to open. Be sure that Link to Excel is unchecked. If it is checked, I think it's not going to work. So this has to be unchecked, and we are going to select our outputs file we just created to be used with the SimLab. So by going here, it's this one, LHS SimLab, and then clicking OK. We can conduct Monte Carlo analysis by clicking Start. We initially configure it, so now we want to evaluate it, to launch it. It says there is only that there is like one sample set. We are fine with that. It said that there are some characters in the output name, and that it is going to convert a column into underscore. We are fine with that because SimLab doesn't like certain characters. We are fine with that. And you can see now we would be able, this was faded out. Now we would be able to click it to run analysis, uncertainty analysis, and sensitivity analysis on our sample coupled with simulation outputs. Let's see what we are going to get here. By clicking, we have to select which outputs we want to assess our inputs against. So obviously we have only one output, it's electricity, because with sensitivity analysis and uncertainty analysis, certain uncertainty in, let's say, in the parameter A might have large outputs of certain kind might be very sensitive, some other outputs might not be sensitive at all. So that's if we have multiple outputs, that's where we are going to select them all and evaluate impact of particular parameter on various outputs. So for example, heating set point can have huge impact on gas consumption if we have a boiler. But in the same time, it can have absolutely no impact on electricity consumption in our house. So depending on the outputs we want to assess our inputs against, we are choosing a set of parameters. So if we are analyzing the gas consumption in the house, heating set point is very important if it is heated by boiler. If we are analyzing only electricity consumption, then heating set point is not that important. It will probably not be important at all, but lighting intensity might be important. So depending on the outputs, we are choosing a set of input parameters to conduct any parametric sensitivity or uncertainty analysis. So in this particular case,